Um, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the topic of the NFL for a quick second, and just go into something a little bit deeper than that. Um,
Okay.
during during your football career, your sport career, has there ever been any like hard times that you've gone through that have possibly made you think of quitting sports altogether, or did those hard times possibly um, push you and make you go closer to the sports where you're like relying on the sports a little bit? Have you ever had anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely have. And I was raised the right way. I'm very thankful and very blessed to have parents um, that push me every day and remind me every day of what I do this for and why I do this. And I've had some tough times. I don't want to get into them, but
No, yeah, I
I've
understand that.
definitely, yeah, you're good. I've definitely propelled um, and springboarded closer to sports. I use those tough times to fuel my fire. I've always been a positive person. I've always been motivated, not externally, but internally. There's a lot of external motivations out there, like kids saying, we look up to you, we do this, we do that. You're a great person. That's great. I take that and it's fuel to my fire because I just want to make everybody happy. But at the same time, I've got to make myself happy. And the last thing I want to do is be known not by people, but by God as someone who didn't live life the right way, didn't have good intentions, didn't fulfill God's plan. God's plan. Hey,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where I fueled my fire. I took it. I ran with it. I, I there's really nothing much else to say, but just I am where I am now because of my fuel, and it's growing to this day. I'm growing right now, um, internally, just talking about this because I know how many people don't believe in me, but I'm out there to prove myself right, not prove others wrong, if that makes sense.
um, Throughout your life, have you always been a very religious person, or has that something that you just grown with as time progressed in your life?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So through your life, have you always been a very religious person, or is that something that's just come along as time went on as you've gotten older?
No, I mean I've been a very religious person my entire life. I grew up going to church, putting my faith in God. I was baptized at age 13 in Lavaca, Arkansas. It was a small little town right across the street from Greenwood. But yeah, I was baptized 13. Everybody falls short. I was tempted a lot, did a lot of bad things, but I grew from it. I realized nobody's perfect, even though how hard I try to be perfect. Perfect only paralyzes you. And so all I wanted to do after being, trying to be perfect, I couldn't do it. So all I wanted to do was be excellent. I wanted to be excellent at everything because excellence excels and propels. And that was one thing that I found in religion. You're never going to be perfect. You can only be excellent. I'm excellent at this. I'm not perfect, but I'm excellent. I'm not going to have all the answers, but I can definitely help you get to where you want to be. And that was one thing that I've carried with me through 15 years, 10, 15 years of playing football. Is you know, I, Football has definitely been a platform of success to where not necessarily in money and reaching out to other people through football, but basically reaching out to other people through God. And I think everybody should look at it that way. There's some guys out there that aren't very religious, but they've got all the money in the world and all the fame in the world and all the women in the world and all the drugs and cars and houses and just nasty stuff that you're not going to take to heaven with you. Whatever you have on earth is buried on earth when you go to heaven or go to hell. Like they're both real, and the second that someone realizes that heaven and hell are real, that's life changing. And I've
Yeah.
I've had buddies that have passed away, and I've had my best friend pass away for 3 days and come back to life. Like he was in a coma, and he came back and was like, "I saw God." I was like, "Holy smokes!" And now he's preaching the word every day. It's crazy stuff, but he's real, and I think football is real just as much as God's real, and if you can combine the two and impact somebody's life, do it, man. You have the
Yeah,
opportunity, do it.
I didn't have that question written down. Like, I mean, sure, I have a lot of these that I don't have written down, but that one I just wanted to ask just because, just from talking to you, and like, you can obviously see the religious side. And honestly, it's motivating me. Like, it's just, I'm listening to you, I'm just taking in, like, what you're saying and all the words that you're saying. I'm just taking it in, honestly. It's like, I can just feel a positive impact on me. It's like making me just like, I don't know, just like kind of like
Yeah.
brightening things up a little bit. I can't even lie. Um, um, Whenever you're thinking of like other receivers in the NFL or past receivers, current, whatever, and you talked about comparisons before, you don't want to be thought of as just a slot receiver. Is there any receiver that you've ever thought you could model your game after, or thought that you could be compared to in any way?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching a lot of Emmitt Smith, and I know he wasn't a receiver, but he was a running back,
And you
and I
played
liked the
running
way he
back.
moved. Yep, and I liked the way he moved and caught the ball out of the backfield. I liked the way how he hit the hole looking one way, but then hit it back the other way and stop on a dime and come up with 10 pennies. Uh, I also grew up watching Wes Welker, and I wanted to model my game just like him. He was so savvy and technique with his routes. And eventually after he left the league, I started watching Julian Edelman, and then next thing I know, I'm playing with Danny Amendola and Jarvis Landry. Like, reality became reality, or my dream became a reality the
Yeah.
second I got the opportunity to go play for the Dolphins, because everybody was brought to the Dolphins while I was there, and I was like, this is awesome. I was like, best of both worlds. I'm playing with the guys I grew up watching. I definitely, learned from it, and I hate that I can't, I'm not in the league right now playing, but, it's not over for me. I'll be back.
That is an awesome mindset to have. Um, if there was one way that you could describe your game as a receiver, what would you say to describe your game?
This is a tough question, man. I told you no tough
Okay,
questions,
okay,
bro.
okay. Let me just get this geometry question real quick. No, you're good. I mean,
No, I
okay?
got
Is
you.
there
I got you.
is there one part of your game that you might say is the best, like that's the best part of your game, or like something that you think is you're better at than other areas?
Yeah, I'm a technician, man. Um, the coach tells me to run a route this certain way, I'm going to run it that certain way. If a coach tells me to go freelance, that's what I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ask the quarterback what he wants, because, I mean, I can go out there and run a crazy looking route and get open. Like, anybody can do that. But a great receiver can run it the way coach tells him and gets open. If there's one thing to say about my game, whether it be a receiver or playing or whatever it is, man, I'm a winner. I'm a competitor. Winning is the only thing on my mind on the game. I could care less if I catch 10 balls. I could care less if I catch 0 balls. I don't care. As long as we're winning, I'm happy. Now, I would love to be a part of the game and catch 10 balls. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the game, did I do my job? Yeah, okay. Move on. Next. So there's one aspect of the game that I like to, pride myself on. It is my toughness. Takes some cojones going across the middle, taking some shots that I did. And I grew up basically on a farm, and I learned the hard way how to be tough. If it was 10 degrees outside and you got to go feed the cows or take dogs out or go kill some sheep, I had to do it, and I would do it in no t-shirt and shorts and some Crocs or some cowboy boots or something. Yeah, I did it to make it hard on myself so I could. It's the little things like that. Like, I would do that in the cold at night because I knew whenever I'm done, I could run back inside and it would feel warm. And that's part of training. You make it hard on yourself while you train, but then in the game time, it's warm. It's easy. You realize I'm in really good shape, or this is why I pushed myself so hard in the off season. And a lot of people don't see that. Like, how you grow up is, it's part of the development of who you are today. And that was something that again, I thank my parents for, and I don't think a lot of people see that in me, but I mean, I like to pride myself on being really freaking tough, man. I'm sorry, but I played 8 games with a broken shoulder I don't know how a lot of people that could do that, but
No,
I did it.
that is crazy. Especially at receiver or running back, either position, you're going to be getting tackled. I mean, every single time you touch the ball, like that is crazy.
I mean, whether you're not, whether if you're touching the ball or not, I
You're
mean,
still running. You're still
you.
doing contact. Like there's
It sucks. It was a really sucky time in my life, but if I could walk, I knew I was okay.
And when was that? Was that at Arkansas?
Yeah, I tore my shoulder my junior year
That's yeah.
against Tennessee. Came back out with a sleeve on and ended up playing every game after that. Um, and man, I was in the world's most pain. It was terrible. Every hit, I felt it just falling off every second.
Ugh, man.
Yeah, it was
I
brutal,
see. I
but
remember you having that shoulder injury. I never knew what it was though. I always remember seeing like a brace or a sleeve or something, over that side.
yeah,
And
I tore my AC joint. I separated my AC joint, tore my posterior and anterior labrum. I have 7 anchors in my shoulder right now. And by God, it's loose. I'm feeling good. It's still connected. Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, that just shows your toughness, your determination and drive. Like you played through that. Like that is just props to you, man. That is awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Um, throughout your whole life or in sports put together, who would you say your biggest role model has been?
My dad, easily. That's an easy question. I've been asked that many times. My dad, he's still my role model to the day. He's calling me every day. I just got the phone with him about an hour ago before we got on, and he just asked me how everything's going, man. He said, "Hey, buddy, how are you?" I was like, "I'm doing good." He's like, "Hey, man, keep going. I don't know what you're going through today, but you got to keep going. Whatever it is, bro, keep going. Whether it be video games or not, bro, you better keep going." So I mean, it's my dad,
Very
man.
motivational, it seems.
Yeah, he came from nothing to something as well, and I'm still in the nothing part in my eyes. I'll never be something until I'm in heaven, and that's part of my mentality. Whether I have a great family, a big house, whatever, that's nothing to me. As long as I'm reaching out to other people, leading them to Christ, that's when I know I've made it. I'm something.
That is awesome. Like major respect to you. I respect that a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
As you were growing up and you were getting bigger in high school and then all of a sudden in college again, you just became a massive, receiver. In your junior year, you came out of nowhere. Did you think that you had to be careful, like more careful with who you trust and who you put your trust in?
Yeah, I didn't really put my trust into a lot of people, to be honest with you. I only had 2 or 3 really close friends, and 2 of them were in the Super Bowl. Dan Skipper and Cody Hollister. The other person I trusted was my roommate, and he didn't play football, but he's my best friend to this day. Instead of me going out and trusting other people, what I did was I sought out people who wanted to trust me, and then we developed a relationship. So like guys would come up to me and they'd talk and we'd share some things back and forth, but at the end of the day I felt like they trusted me more than I trusted them, and whenever they trusted me more and I felt that, then we developed a friendship, then we developed a relationship. So I mean it's kind of the opposite way for me. I look at things outside the box rather than inside the box. I can't just put all my eggs in one basket with one guy, so I like to spread them out a little bit and see which egg comes back, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Going to the AFL after Tennessee, what team? You know what? I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Okay.
You're good.
Going to the AFL, how did that whole process start? What team got in contact with you?
So I don't want to talk bad upon nobody. I'm not going to say any names, but the AAF is the Alliance of American Football.
My bad. For some reason, I always think of league at the end.
The AAFL, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, Alliance of American Football League.
Okay.
It's a little different than the AFL. That's Arena League, but you're all good. So it was kind of a tough thing for me, man, because I was in between. I was on the fence because I was like, man, do I stick it out another 3 weeks, 4 weeks, see if I get picked up by an NFL team, or do I go ahead and sign a contract with the AAF? And I made a decision to go stay in the NFL for 3 or 4 more weeks, try and work out for some teams, but no one bid to work out. So when I got to the AAF, the whole roster was already set. So I was like, crap, I know I signed a little too late. My agent was doing all he could, and it is what it is. It didn't work out. I ended up doing camp with them in January. Had a great camp. They liked me. I was starting special teams. I was a punt returner. I was starting slot. I did really good things. And then cuts came down to it, and they basically said, it's a numbers game. We appreciate everything you did for us. I was super confused. I'm still confused to this day. They said turn your playbook in, and I'm back in Fayetteville, Arkansas now. And it was a weird ordeal, but it is what it is. So
your journey isn't done yet. Obviously, you're not the type of person I see as someone that's gonna just give up, that is your roll over and just let it be. So
yeah.
Do you?
Oh, brother, one thing real quick. You'll never know me as giving up. I never give up.
Exactly.
It might come to an end, but I'll tell you, when something comes to an end, there's always a new beginning. And I'm not saying I can't wait for this new beginning, wherever it's going to be, or if I go be a coach somewhere, or whether or not, I'm telling you right now, this football thing, bro, it only lasts so long. I mean, I've always been like that. I've always been positive, brother. That's one thing you take away from me is every day is a positive day. Whether it's raining, snowing, sleeting, hailing, hurricaning, I'm out there enjoying the weather.
That is awesome, man. I can definitely see. I'd never see you as a person who's gonna just lay over and give up. I don't see that at all.
Yeah, nah. I'd be disrespecting myself, man. Come on now. I got a good heart. I can't be playing low.
I really appreciate this, man. I appreciate this more than you know. Like I honestly felt bad emailing you again. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna be annoying him and bothering him, but you responded, which you never have to do. Which I've messaged over 20 athletes. I've emailed some.
Yeah.
Like it's just I haven't gotten anything from a lot of people, but
Mm-hmm.
you went out of your way, took time out of your day to respond. Not only respond, you read my messages, but also you went on this interview, and you've been on here for around an hour now. And it's just truly, thank you so much for this, man. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for reaching out. I tell kids all the time. Don't be afraid. The only regret you're gonna have in life is the opportunity that you let go away. If there's an opportunity, or if you got to make an opportunity, take it, man. Run with it. Go for it. Don't let anything hold you back, bro. There's nothing in life greater than knowing you have successfully taken an opportunity and ran with it, man. It's weird, but I'm sure you're feeling that way right now, but there's more to come.